What is up guys? In this video we're gonna make a modulated bass sound in Serum. It's gonna sound like this. Ready? Let's jump straight into the project. If you want to get access to this Serum preset, you can go to my membership site and download it. The link is in the description down below. Okay, so we start by loading up Serum. We go to the oscillators. For oscillator A, we're gonna go to analog. We're gonna select the analog BG sine wave. We're gonna put this to -1 octave and put the level all the way up. For oscillator B, we're gonna select the basic world wavetable. We're gonna set this to 4 in unison and put down the detune. And this one is gonna modulate via FM, modulate oscillator A. So we're gonna go to oscillator A, and down here in the warp mode, we're gonna select FM from B. Then we're gonna modulate the warp mode here on oscillator A with LFO1. So we're gonna assign LFO1 to the knob here, and then we're gonna set the modulation amount to around here. What we wanna do is that we wanna set LFO1 into envelope mode. So the LFO is not gonna keep on being triggered, but it's just gonna fire every time we press a note, and then it's gonna stop. And then we're gonna have the rate to be synced at 1/4. So we have a sound like this. So we get like this kind of wobbly kind of effect. Next, we're gonna go to the filter settings because we're gonna wanna roll off a little bit of the higher frequencies of the oscillators. So we're gonna enable this for both oscillator A and B and enable the filter. We're gonna set it to MG low 24, put the cutoff to around here, down with the resonance, put up the drive to around 15%. And then we also want to have a sub-oscillator as well. So we're gonna enable that, use the first waveform, put this to -1 octave, and then decrease the level a little bit. Then we want to modulate the filter and also the wavetable position of oscillator A, so we can change the wavetable a little bit over time. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go to envelope 3. We're gonna create a shape that has some attack to it. We can also make it a little bit more like this shape. We're gonna assign this to first the cutoff, and then put the modulation amount around here. And then we're gonna assign this to the wavetable position as well of oscillator A. So we get this kind of sound. And you can try to play around with the attack level if you want to have like a slower start, but I think around here sounds pretty nice to me. So we want to do a little bit more of modulation to the sounds. So we're going to navigate to oscillator B, and we're also going to modulate the wavetable position of oscillator B. So we're going to go to LFO2, and then what I want to do is just draw a pretty random shape here in the LFO pattern. It really doesn't matter how it looks, because we're going to set this to unsynced, put down the rate, and then assign this to the wavetable position. So that means that it's just changing the wavetable of oscillator B. So we get a little bit more like movement to the sound. And it just sounds a little bit more nice to me. Okay, so for the last modulation, we're gonna go to LFO3, and we want to modulate the cutoff filter. So we draw a shape, something like this. Then we want to modulate the cutoff filter and have like the amount around here. So we get something like this. We can actually decrease this a little bit. Can also pull down this one a little bit. So it just modulates the filter a little bit, so we get like that more like gnarly kind of tone to the sound. And then we want to set the envelope settings for the amplitude of the sound. So we're going to go to envelope 1 and just add a little bit of release to the sound. That's basically it. So we have this. Pretty nice. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to let you know that I've made a 4-hour online course that teaches you how to make a UK garage style track from scratch. The course is divided into 9 lessons where you learn everything from programming your drums, chords, bass lines, structuring your song, turning that 8-bar loop into a full song arrangement, and also doing some mixing and mastering. I built this course with everything that I wish that I knew when I was starting out producing. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description down below to learn more. Let's get back into the video. Then we're ready to navigate to the FX. We are gonna add some distortion and like to have the soft clipping. Put up the drive to around maybe 34%. Then I want to add a chorus because I want to have somewhat of like a stereo feel to this sound. So I'm basically just using the default settings, but just decreasing the width a little bit. So I have this pattern, this bassline pattern here playing. Just adds a little bit more like niceness to the stereo field. Then I want to add a delay, but nothing really crazy. It's just to add a little bit of like sparkle to the top end. So I'm gonna put this to 1/8. Put down the feedback because we don't want like the delay to be like has a long tail because it's gonna mess up with the bass. I like to have it to ping pong mode. And then the most important thing is that you have to draw like a shape like this, because then we are not putting delays to the lower end of the bass sound. I just want to have it on like more like the top mid-range of the bass, and then of course turn down the mix to around 9%. So we have something like this. So it's just a little bit like of delay. We can actually try to increase the feedback and mix a little bit. So just like a little bit of stereo stuff going on in the top end. Then I also want to add a reverb. Doing like a really short decay. And this one with the low cut is pretty important because we don't want to add reverb effect to the low end of the bass, just more like, again, with the same with the delay. And then have the high cut around here, and then the mix obviously not really high up. Also again, just to add a little bit of stereo effect. And the last component here in the effects section is just an EQ. So I'm just using like a low shelf just to boost the low end with around 2 dB. And then also using like a high shelf just to boost a little bit of the top end, also at around 2.5 dB. And then it's really important to pay attention to the master level to see if you are going into the reds and maybe potentially clipping your sound. So I just want to be on the safe side, so I'm just decreasing the master a little bit. It has like a really like nice tone to it, in my opinion. So that's actually it for the Serum effects. I will then go into some external processing in FL Studio. This is optional, but it's just to emphasize the sound a little bit more. So I've added the decapitator from Sound Toys just to push the sound a little bit with some distortion. Just sounds nice in my opinion. Next, I have Neutron 3 with 2 components. The first one is an exciter, adding some excitement to the upper level of the bass sound. It's basically just to bring forth some of the upper harmonics of the bass. And then I'm adding an equalizer just to remove like any upper range of the sound, because it's not necessary for like the energy and the fundamentals of the bass. It lies down here. Let's play around with the filter. Really like dirty bass. I really like it. So, and this is just done to make room for other stuff in your track. So hi-hats, drums, vocals, other synth stuff. Then the last thing is just a through limiter, and this is just to act as a sidechain trigger, because I have made a small beat idea that I want to play to you, and you can just hear it in like in a context with a track. So this is the small beat idea that I just made for this bass sound. So enjoy. So I think it turned out pretty awesome. It really adds a lot of like character to the low end of this track. So remember, if you want to get access to this preset, you can actually go to my membership site and then you can download the Serum preset. I also have a lot of other stuff there, a lot of sample packs and other preset packs. So I really encourage you to go check that out. The link is in the description down below. A lot of the sounds that I have used in this beat idea comes from some of my drum sample packs and also my mellow Serum preset pack, and you can also go check that out on my webshop. The links are in the description down below. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this small Serum tutorial. If you liked the video, it means so much to me if you will smash that like button or even subscribe to the channel. So I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, peace.